Hi everyone, welcome to Shamanic Guidance. Today we're doing a general reading, just diving into whatever you want to know at this time. These are deeper psychology-based readings, and they explore subjects on a shamanic level, kind of going deeper below the surface and into the energy. These readings are designed to help you shift things in your life that aren't working and to resolve whatever conflicts you're experiencing within yourself as well. So we have 3 piles today. The first one is When the Weavers Call Your Heart. The second, For the Wind That Blows Our Sails. And the third, When a Witch Must Drink Their Brew. Timestamps are below, and I will see you in your readings. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. We're doing general readings today, so let's flip your cards over. You got the High Priestess, the Two of Swords, the Two of Cups, Surrender, When the Weavers Call Your Heart, the Muse, Generosity and Naivety, Go Fish, Dream a Beautiful Dream, Midas Touch, Things Are Working Out in Your Favor, and Distraction. So pile 1, we're gonna start with your tarot, and you start with the High Priestess, and the High Priestess card, this is the Alice in Wonderland deck. It's interesting because we see young Alice as a girl looking in the mirror, and she's seeing an older version of herself who's like a witchy lady. And she's touching her hand. So this is kind of like a vision of the future you. There's a knowing of who you are inside yourself. And you feel like you haven't met that yet. And it's like you're wondering how. How do I become that person that I know I'm meant to be? Dream a Beautiful Dream here and Go Fish are similar messages. They're prompting you to think about the you that you want to become and how you can start embodying that. And there's this message of Go Fish that this is something that you have to pull out of you. It feels like for you, this life is about becoming yourself. You might have a prominent placement in your 5th house in astrology, meaning this life for you is very much about becoming yourself and expressing your soul energy in this life. So for you, being yourself is not necessarily easy or supported. You may have grown up with a lot of opposition to your true self, or just not knowing how to be you, what kind of things to do to bring that out of you, or how you can develop yourself to become the you that you want to be. So your reading is letting you know that there is this grand vision that you have for yourself somewhere within you. There is this you in the future, someone you've already become. And I feel like you're struggling with knowing how to get there. And so part of you just kind of freezes, where it's like, I just don't know what to do. And then you get distracted. So you start investing yourself in other things just because you don't know. It's like, I don't know how to become that. I don't know what step to take first. And I feel almost like a bit of panic there. Like, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna watch TV or something like that. I'm gonna do this instead. That Two of Swords card, like that moon in the back, is so his gaze is very piercing. He's very like you can't stop looking at it. It's a very magnetic, kind of wild looking gaze, and it's like really the opposite of what Alice is doing in that Two of Swords card. It feels like there's this very awake and alive part of you that you're a little disconnected from at the moment, and you're feeling a little lost and a little crossed ways, and you just kind of don't know what to do with yourself, but there is this part of you that's like, hello, 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 hello. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. And it's just so bright and loud and like focused. So you currently, you're probably navigating this journey of like, I know who I want to be, but I don't know how to become it. And I'm kind of disconnected from that part of me that knows how, and I can't find my way. And you're just kind of in this story of you being lost. I feel like, Midas Touch is reminding you that it's okay. Whatever you're going through always serves you. So sometime being lost, that means you're going to be finding yourself a lot faster, a lot more intensely, a lot more deeply because of that experience of being lost. And it's also helpful because then you can have compassion for what you see in the world, and you can soften around others who are having similar struggles. It just helps develop the self to be more compassionate, more deep, and understanding of the human experience. So you're having this experience of being kind of lost and disconnected from your higher self, I'd say. This higher self part of you that is so awake, alive, and like ready to live, and is ready, bursting with energy, and knows what to do and knows where to go, and is like right there, but you are just not seeing it. So part of this reading is like, I feel like the way for you to reconnect with your higher self is through your heart and through some sort of creative, like something that's going to really speak to your soul, like some sort of creative art, any sort of creative activity that it's like, yeah, there was for some reason you got disconnected from that higher self, that guiding, directing energy, but it's there and it wants you to reconnect, like, and you want to reconnect. And the way it's like you're going to be reconnecting. Look at that Two of Cups following that Two of Swords. This is you coming together with this part of you, with this piece of you that's kind of you've been disconnected from. So surrender into that experience, just understanding that this is what's coming now. This is the process that you're going through. You're reconnecting with this big kind of inner muse energy, which you could call your higher self. It's your heart, it's your passion, it's your fire, it's that like obsessive, that moon that moon face in the Two of Swords that is like just vibrant with life and is passionate and is just going for it. But yeah, your way to do that is through some sort of heart-based activity. And for me, like I'm seeing creative kind of energy here. If you look at the Muse card, so perhaps through some sort of new venture, like you're taking singing lessons, or you're doing art classes, or you're starting pottery. Like there's some sort of love-filled creative activity that's in your heart that you know that you want to do, or that you're already investing in. And this reading is letting you know that this is the way for you to reconnect to your higher self. And you're going to be doing this. And it feels like, this is a really big way to start weaving your soul self into your life, into your current reality, into every day, into who you are. Like it's starting. There's this process here of weaving. You could see that in the Two of Cups, the way the teapot is pouring that stream of tea out in those like waves, in those intersecting waves. That's a weaving energy that I really like here. So we're going to pull a few more cards. So one message I was getting while I was shuffling was stop being angry at yourself for being distracted, for this time where you weren't able to face your higher self or be united that way, where you weren't seeking your passions, or you weren't fully invested in your direction. I feel like part of it is like you're being way too hard on yourself. You have been seeking this relationship all along, but what Spirit is really saying is like it was meant for you to be separated for a while. Everything is medicine. Like separation is medicine for later unity. And having something get taken out of your life is medicine for something new and better being brought into your life. Like there's always, everything's in polarities in this universe. And Spirit really, really wants you to not be hard on yourself for the experience that you've had where perhaps you weren't your best self, or you weren't always seeking like the you that you want to be, etc., etc. I feel like you've always done that, and maybe you had a time where you couldn't, and it's okay. You can forgive yourself. I feel like forgiving yourself is an important step here. So let's get the rest of your cards down. You've got Chalk, As the Weaver's Way is True, some horse energy, the Void, and Unstick the Stuck. So the Chalk card speaks about stepping out of your ordinary reality for a time of spiritual retreat, for a time inward into yourself. The Void really ties that in together nicely. So this is like a, if you can go and attend a sweat lodge ceremony or some sort of ceremony, like you could take yourself on a retreat, you could go somewhere, or, at home, give yourself a fast, like do something free and in your power, if you can't, go attend something, to remove yourself out of ordinary life for a time with the intention of going deep into yourself, into the void, into the center of the circle, and connecting with the life force that's there, the spirit force that's there. I can really feel this energy much more than I can speak it, so I am like transmitting the vibes through the video, but it's really to go into the center, and to go into the center is like, it's indescribable, and it's not something that somebody else can do for you. It's like you have to go into yourself. It's a personal experience. So you're being guided to go. It's like that go fish card, like go into yourself. There's something that is within you that wants to be found. And there's a way for you to do that. And what that's going to do is get some energy flowing that's been stuck. And it's just going to get momentum, the movement going, the momentum going. And then the Horse Weavers card is pulling us back to that message of surrender. So I love when I pull a second layer of cards and they kind of go back to the first layer. It's like, oh, you missed something, or you didn't speak on it enough. So this card says, trusting and surrendering to an essential partnership with the divine, reclaiming your magic. So yeah, that is trusting and surrendering to an essential partnership with the divine, which is like your inner higher self. This is circling back to the relationship between you and the universe, you and spirit, you and the bigger part of you. You're coming back and meeting in the middle. It's beautiful. For some of you, like I work with horses, if you can get yourself to some horses and have an experience with them, one-on-one close up, or just go and find them in a field and connect with them, I feel like this would be super duper helpful for what this reading is telling you, because horses, like they really embody that higher self energy, and connecting with them feels like you're connecting with your higher self, but in the physical reality. It's quite amazing. The higher self can feel like such a nebulous kind of unknown thing when we don't have a physical marker for it. And I feel like this reading is telling you, that you lost that connection at a time. It means that it's rebirthing itself in a higher form, in a better form, in a more physical, tangible form, perhaps. Like this is my story, is being disconnected from higher self and then reuniting with higher self in the physical through my relationship with horses, through my connection with animals. And it's so much more amazing to be living the connection with the higher self in the physical and seeing it and witnessing it and just being in it, than having this nebulous concept of the higher self within that. It's like, what is that, and how do I talk to it? And it's less embodied. So this is the surrender piece, is trusting your journey, that this is all unfolded in the most perfect way, and just continuing to trust and surrender. Yes, you've been disconnected from your higher self. It has been for a purpose. There's something going on here for you. and you're circling into the truth that's kind of in the center, in the void of why you've been through this journey, but also, really to go forward, to get out of this distracted, kind of numbed out disconnectedness, and to get the energy really moving and get momentum towards you becoming the you that you want to be. You merging with your higher self. The higher self can represent the you who you want to be, the you that you've become on another plane of existence, so to speak. And connecting with that is weaving together like the future version of you, the actualized version of you into the physical. So I'm just going to read this card a little bit more. The mythic story of the Dream Weavers invites us to imagine the purpose of these wise, benevolent beings working on our behalf, who represent the higher wisdom that governs our lives. So if we don't really trust in them or in any divine force, it means we believe only in our human will to make things happen, that everything is on our shoulders to carry. If we can't see the hidden realms, they don't exist. Only what we see does. Even the idea of our higher self is reduced to a philosophical ideal. Effort then becomes primary, hard work, struggle, goals to achieve, difficult relationships. A lot of people live this way. You don't. You know deep down that you can only do so much on your own. You need this divine partnership to make your life work. You were born to reclaim your magic, your roots in the mystical ways of the world. Trust becomes essential to surviving and thriving. So again, this reading over and over is speaking about you reconnecting with, or connecting more deeply with, what you'd call higher self energy or spirit, the universe, or however that's going to manifest for you. It's that kind of mystical, spiritual energy that is present with us, that is everywhere, and that is here to help us and partner with us. This is all about partnership. Again, really, really, really strongly recommend you get out to some horses and do some partnership work with them, connect with them. They will teach you, they will show you exactly what this reading is guiding you towards here. So that's your reading, pile 1. Thank you for listening, and blessings on your journey. Hi, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. We are doing general what do you want to know at this time readings. So let's flip your cards over. We've got Lead Your Metamorphosis, the Chariot, 2 of Pentacles, and 2 of Wands. Treading carefully, caching. For the wind that blows our sails. To receive, you must release. What can you let go of? What do you want to receive? And the Queen, determination and sacrifice. So the Chariot and for the wind that blows our sails, very similar message. Forward movement, coming out of a slow period, a time for action. Card says this is a time for action. Your obstacles have dissolved. You've integrated the deep work you've been doing, and you're on the other side of the dry spell. This is a time of new beginnings, of the excitement that comes with seeing your dreams come to fruition after challenging work. So this is moving forward. This is an expansion. This is stepping into your power, into your sovereignty, in the sense of, lead your metamorphosis is you are deciding what direction you want your life to go, what you want to see manifest in your reality, the person that you want to become. And this is you starting to really move the energy. So you're coming out of a slow period, as the card was saying. You've come out of a maybe, you were lost, you're confused, you didn't know where you were going, what to do, etc. But things have started moving for you and in your life. You've got good forward movement energy. You've got a lot of cards here that are, it's really interesting because it's like, this is, the sense I get is like, this is someone who gets something really big and amazing going, but it's winter time. And it kind of like, there's this need to temper the forward movement, or to kind of balance the forward movement with other factors. So we see the Chariot followed by the Two of Pentacles, which is a card all about balancing like varying forces. We have the Caching card, which is about putting things away for the future, planting seeds, resourcing yourself for the time coming. So this could be about preparing. It could be about just making sure all the ducks are in a row. Finding the right people, like that kind of thing. So there's forward movement, things are moving, but there's a lot of elements that you're working to balance, and you might still, within yourself, there's still some things that you're resolving. The Queen with determination and sacrifice, it's asking like what needs to go out of your life, and same with the to receive you must release, like what needs to go in order for you to go in the direction you want to go. And there's kind of like a ruthlessness that needs to come in, where you're sacrificing anything that's slowing you down or holding you back or pulling you in the wrong direction, and very decidedly, with that sort of discrimination, cutting away things and releasing whatever is not serving you. And the sacrifice card is like, even things that feel good or that you're hanging on to, some things need to be killed off, and it might be painful, it might be hard to do, but it's like, I know that I need to rid this of my life. I know that I need to do this, and there might be some trade-offs, etc. You have to give up this to get that. And you have to trust that when you let this go, something else will come to replace it. So treading carefully, all these cards, they're all about really navigating the change that you're going through and the path forward with a lot of finesse, a lot of mindfulness, a lot of conscious awareness, a lot of time spent really invested in determining where you're going, how you're going there, what's going on around you, etc. So I feel like what we're going to do is go straight into pulling your next set of cards. So we've got Follow Your Own Rhythm, Turtle Clan, Grounding, Steady Progress, and Solidity, and that one really wanted to come out. Divine Disguise, and Interdependence. So Divine Disguise is interesting because it could be like an unwanted experience or situation, something that's going on in your world that is not quite what you wanted, and it might derail you or slow you down. Now this is interesting because soon after we finished like part 1 of your reading, the neighbor next door came out and started to blow leaves, and I kind of went like, oh, now I have to stop. I have to go do something else for a while. Like, I can't record while he's doing this. It's annoying. It's getting my attention, and it's annoying, but I also don't want the sound in the video. And when things happen like this, I always ask why, and I always look for the message. I don't ever just kind of act on that impulse. I always stop and observe and question and take things from a psychological perspective and take things as a message. So when this neighbor came out and started blowing the leaves, my reaction was like, okay, well, I can't go forward right now. I have to stop. I have to do something else. I have to wait till he's done. Like, something came into my reality to derail my plan of doing this reading and make me have to go on another direction. So it's like, the timing of that is quite impeccable, and your cards are affirming that. So follow your own rhythm. I'm here recording these readings. I'm not necessarily just going to stop and walk away. I'm going to make the best out of this situation by tying it into the reading, because I know that it is directly related to the message that you are meant to receive, Pile 2. That, yeah, something's moving in your life, but there might be an obstacle that's come up, and now you have to slow down. Now you have to look around. You have to figure out how to manage this obstacle. What direction can you go instead of this? Whatever obstacles come up in your way, it is asking you to slow down, you're making steady progress. There's no need to be in a funk or worried about anything. There's this message here of needing things to be working together in alignment for you in order for what you're doing to go forward, which is that interdependence card. Interdependence is that there are more elements than you and your personal will that are at play here in what you're doing. So you might be part of like a big project that's about to launch, and you're excited and you're seeing things moving and the people are showing up and whatever. But on the other hand, it's like, yeah, it's winter time and we can't go forward right now. Like we can't have the events that we're planning on. We can't do this, da 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 da. But it's all, divine disguise. It's all serving you, and it's all about learning where your alignment is. And always like following your rhythm is there's always something right for you to invest yourself in at all moments. It's just about finding that right flow and going towards that thing that is calling you at the moment. Your ego, your conscious mind, your own will may not have the answer, may not be the right thing. But there is something else. Like there's always something. Universe is never saying like, no, you can't, and you have to do nothing and you must stop. I spoke a bit about horses in the first reading, and they're coming up here again because it's so interesting to work with horses in a therapeutic capacity, because it's like they don't say no or reject reasonable things that they want to be part of, but it's like a later, or not right now, or that's being saved for a better time, or if you don't do this now, you're going to have this incredible experience 2 weeks from now where you will do it, and it'll be amazing, much more amazing than if it were to be right now. Like there's such a timing piece with working with them. And for things like I want to pet the horses, I want to pet them, and then you're there with a client and the horses are running away, like they do not want to be pet. They're not letting your client pet the horse. All the client wants to do is pet the horses. While you go through your therapeutic experience with the client, and ultimately they realize such and such, and then at the very end there's like this horse they have a beautiful connection with that comes in and gives them a hug and is like all over them, and they're crying, and it's just all timing, and it's like just respecting the divine flow of everything, and that a no or an obstacle is a redirect towards like this other more incredible, beautiful experience that's over there, that's coming. So really be mindful of that, of this energy of how everything's interdependent. You're part of a bigger picture. The obstacles are detour signs to go other ways right now. And it's all helping you to find your own rhythm, which is to find your place in the universe, to find your right alignment, so that you're not experiencing obstacles. You're just in the right place at the right time, doing what you're meant to be doing, etc. Like this is whatever you're experiencing here is an orientation kind of experience. It's meant to guide you where you're meant to be at the time you're meant to be there. So with the neighbor blowing the leaves, it's like he's now gone somewhere else. I could have stopped the reading and gone, but it was all just for you, just the message of sometimes things come up and they derail our plans, and it's okay. You have to choose how to respond in that moment, but to really cultivate that tool that I use there of like, okay, does this mean I want to stop doing this? What am I feeling right now? Am I agitated? Am I feeling disrupted? Do I feel like the path of least resistance is to go wait, or do I feel like using this as a teaching modality and continuing on? It's all about tuning in deeply and just really feeling like what the circumstance is asking of you and why, and not in a way where you're getting offended and you're feeling like things are working against you, etc., etc. At the end of the day, like you're moving steadily towards your goal. There's nothing going wrong. You're going in the right direction. You could see where you're going as well, which is really nice. You know where you're going. You're leading your journey there. And it really is all about just this finessing the journey to where you're going. being the queen and making the right sacrifices and making the right moves, and just being really aware of your journey at this time, the flow of it and the timing of everything, all the pieces that are working together. If you want something, but there's a person involved and they're not ready yet, but they're being made ready for involvement with you and your project. Like, there's so many moving parts and pieces to be aware of. And again, like, the universe isn't saying no and trying to upset you. It's just like go this way right now, come this way right now, do this right now. This is your rhythm right now. This is you, and this is your place right now. It's all working out for you. So that's your reading, pile 2. Thank you for listening, and blessings on your journey. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. This is a general reading. Now, what do you want to know at this time kind of reading? So let's flip your cards. We got the High Priestess, which was also in pile 1. The Lovers. When a witch must drink their brew. So it's collaborative dreaming. Just had to cover that card. Upheaval. The Archer, biding your time, planning ahead. Always in motion. And Steampunk Priestess. When a witch must drink their brew, being unapologetically comfortable in who you are, trusting and knowing your own magic, being authentic and inspired, the courage to own your values and who you are, not succumbing to the spell of society. So this reading is all about trusting yourself, trusting your methods, trusting that when you do the activities that you know are helpful to you, that they will be medicine for you. They will have the results that you want them to have. This is about trusting yourself and using your medicines even amongst, a world that is asleep, that is not believing in any of this. You know it, and that's all that matters. This is really a coming back to you and your wisdom and your knowing, and this higher connection that you have with yourself and with spirit. When a witch must drink their brew and the High Priestess cards are very linked together, and there's that energy of trusting yourself and trusting your own magic, your own medicine, and being that unapologetically, even amongst others and amongst, upheaval, meaning like others who are opposing your energy, things that are not supportive of you. It's continuing to hold true and strong to who you are and being in your own energy, being in your own medicine. It's interesting because with that collaborative dreaming card, I knew that there was going to be something on it that I would have to cover because YouTube doesn't accept that. And I knew, it's like, oh, that's part of this person's message. It is about being comfortable in your skin and knowing who you are and being happy shining your light. And so there's something that you're navigating there at this time around that, self-trust and self-belief, listening to your own mind. Steampunk Priestess is all about that as well. It's that third eye knowing and listening to your own wisdom, to your own highest, best good that you are connected to, that you know. Now, part of this reading is also forward looking. So it's speaking about you being joined with energy that is akin to yours. And what I mean by that is like, the Lovers is all about coming together with people, places, experiences, things that are close to your heart, that feel right for you, that are a match to what you've been asking for. It's like being in a reality that feels perfectly tailored for you. This is everything that I want. I want to be here. I love this place. This feels good. So with collaborative dreaming, the Lovers and the Archer, always in motion and upheaval. It's like there's this picture here of, maybe being displaced in an environment that doesn't feel right for you, or being around people that aren't quite right for you, that aren't supportive, etc. But it's to have this vision of what you're calling in for yourself, that you're calling in this reality that matches who you really are, and that matches the beautiful wisdom that you hold. It's about knowing yourself and knowing what kind of energy it's not really deserve to have around you, but what's a match to you? What's a vibrational match to your energy that you can call this to yourself by holding true to your own self or your own energy. If you're losing yourself, you're forgetting yourself, or you're not taking your own medicines, so to speak, like it's like a watering down of your energy that's causing you to not be around, the right people, the right places, the right environments, etc. So yeah, by planning ahead, the archery is all about what's your target and aiming at it and letting go the arrow at the right time. Always in motion. Collaborative dreaming. What is the dream that you have for your life? What direction are you going? So let's pull a few more cards. I feel like we're missing some key kind of energies to tie your reading together. So let's do that now. So your cards are share your light, the now. You can radically change your life by shifting your results. What belief is limiting you? And resin. And I actually want to grab the card that I used to cover up collaborative dreaming. And it is a fork in the river. So resin is a really interesting addition to this reading because resin can hold or suspend like an object inside of it, like craft resin. You can put like a dragonfly in there that's dead and preserve it. Resin is all about kind of what's holding you, what the environment, and that's what we were speaking about at the beginning of this reading, where it's like your surroundings, that perhaps are not serving you right now, that are not helping you to be your highest self, or you might be in an environment that is encouraging you to be quiet and to change yourself to not be the bright shining being that you are. So there's this experience you're having of that, where you believe that your environment is not supporting your highest, best self. That's what you're actually experiencing. So there's a belief here that's not serving you, that has to do with you being held in an environment that prevents you from being you, from shining your light, etc. I feel like that's like the main message of your reading, and that's the big kind of issue for you here, is you're allowing your environment to make you believe that you can't access or can't be your best self. And it's interesting, at the beginning of this reading, I started to feel like foggy and unclear and like, maybe a bit tired. And I started to, I just really feel like I wasn't being at my best. So the energy of what you're going through, it's like, this could be a suffocating kind of work environment or home environment. There's something around you that you feel is not supporting you in being your best self. But your spirit's asking you to question this belief. What exactly is going on here? Why are you having this experience where you being your brightest, best, shining light self is not being supported? And I could say, for one thing, it links back to, childhood experiences of, I feel like a lot of us have the experience, a lot of people have the experience of being born into families that don't support the shining of the child's light or their individuality. And honestly, it's almost impossible to have that. Like the parents would have to completely be, not kind of trying to guide the child at all. And I don't know if humanity's ready to go, into this yet, but to have an experience where you're entirely supported in being your brightest, shiniest, individuated self, doing the things that you do best, doing what you love, etc. Like, parents are generally, trying to tell us what to do, trying to put us in environments that don't serve us or that we don't want to be in, etc. And we have this experience in our nervous system or trauma of being in environments that don't fully support and nourish our best possible self. So I feel like what's going on here is you are at the fork in the river. You're at the moment where this is about to heal. So this experience that you're having of being encapsulated in energy that doesn't serve you or support your highest good or help you to connect with yourself or to even share your light, like, this kind of experience for you is coming to an end. You're experiencing it again because it's like a trauma. It's like in our systems, and so it's reproduced itself. But this time you have the tools to move this energy and to unstick yourself. The Lover's card is all about coming into an experience of alignment between you and your environment, where you're in the place that supports your highest good and your best self. You're surrounded by the right people, you're surrounded by the right environment, you're surrounded by the things that nourish you and support you best, and you're thriving. So you can create that for yourself. It's just how do you do that? And what this reading is really guiding you to examine is beliefs, limiting beliefs that are not serving you right now, such as, I'm stuck in this environment that doesn't serve me, When instead you could be saying, okay, I understand why I've manifested this. It's childhood trauma that's just coming up. At this point, I have the resources to deal with it. That's why it's come up. It's in a safe space. And I can focus on where I'm going instead. I can focus on what I'm dreaming into my life and put all my attention there. And just really know who I am, regardless of the experience that I'm going through, to really connect with my highest, best, shining self, no matter what I'm experiencing, to know that that piece of me is always with me. I have nothing to worry about. But yeah, to really focus on the change that you want. Fork in the river and upheaval, there's something happening where there's a big shift where you're being launched into the life that does serve you, that does feel right for you, and coming out of this space where, maybe you only knew it inside of yourself. You only knew who you were inside. You had no external marker reflecting your energy back to you. And you're now coming into the life that feels right for you. So let's pull maybe 2 more cards just to see if there's anything else here. So your last 2 cards are Softly, Softly, the Tender Touch, and Nigalyapanya. One interesting thing that's catching my eye is that both of these cards are number 20. So number 20 might be important to you, might signify a date. The 20th is tomorrow, where I am currently recording this. Tomorrow is the 20th of November. So, something big could be happening tomorrow. Or, at age 20 if you're about to turn 20. So, Nigalyapanya, with hope in your heart, you will activate the helpful spiritual intelligence needed for creative healing resolution. No matter how great the odds may seem, difficulty will be transformed into opportunity and soulful manifestation. New possibility will arise from that which is outmoded, though you will spontaneously manifest fierce compassion if required. An underlying gentle approach will conserve your energy and attract all necessary resources to you. You are destined to evolve beyond a problematic situation into a more abundant, restful, and supported reality. And this, the rest of this card is speaking about pandas and how they've been, had threats to their species and habitat issues, and how they've had to partner with humans and to survive and to have humans help them Giant pandas being super gentle, they're sensitive, they need lots of rest, lots of food. Your reading is really speaking to, like, if I were to describe you, I'd say this is like a soft, sensitive soul, very connected to nature, very intuitive and very high vibration, but brought into a environment, into a family or life that was not supportive of your sensitivity and who you really are, and like your gentleness even. You might have had a really harsh, chaotic environment around you growing up, and you've reproduced this, in your adult life. And the Negalia Panya is acknowledging who you are. You're seen, the universe knows what you need and what you're hoping for, and is listening. And it doesn't matter, the odds stacked against you. This is about trusting that you are not stuck, to change those beliefs that you're here forever, that you're always going to be fighting whatever this is, but to just be more soft, be more gentle about this, not being so triggered and activated by the chaos around you or whatever, but just coming into yourself and having this understanding, like, universe knows what I'm asking for, universe knows what I need. I don't need, my resources don't come from humans. The universe is listening, and the universe can provide me with the environment that is supportive of my being. This is all about kind of coming out of the environments that others created for you to live in, and dreaming up what it is that's right for you and what you want to set in motion. And it's really all about gentle, soft movement forward. This isn't about pushing and forcing and violent change. It's interesting how the previous cards, upheaval and a fork in the river, they're a little more jarring, but these cards here at the end, might speak to a journey that you've been on, where you're understanding that you're dealing with a sensitive piece of you that needs to be helped. There's beliefs that need to be shifted, that you can change your life as you begin shifting, the way that you think and the way that you're relating to whatever you're experiencing in your reality. And that things are moving, things are moving for you. There's more than just you here that is dreaming up this future for you, and you're walking towards whatever that is. So that's your reading, pile 3. Thank you for listening, and blessings on your journey.